I just want to say, come through, Jessica Lange. And you guys, I think this is what it was all about. If you guys are new here, my name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related, back to talk about Feud, Capote versus the Swans, Episode 2, Ice Water in Their Veins. And it must be, you guys, because betrayal is something, but unforgiveness is a thing as well. The montage, the vision, whatever we want to call it, of Truman's mama, played by Jessica Lange, coming back to him and basically thanking him for avenging her, because when she wanted to be introduced into New York society, they didn't receive her, and now he was paying it back. I do think that's part of it. I do think subconsciously that was part of his betrayal, but I am still stuck on the fact that Truman wanted to be these women. You guys, let's get right into this episode. So much happened in episode 2. So basically, we're picking up where the other left off. So we know the magazine articles were out, right? Exposing Babe and her situation. And so now Truman's reeling because he's been shunned, okay? So Slim tells the girls, listen, Truman is on our list. We're not dealing with him. We're not having anything to do with him. Don't talk to him. Don't answer his calls. Don't receive his flowers. Don't accept his gifts. Return to sender, okay? And so he's like, what can I do? So I think now that he's kind of drying up a little bit in terms of being sober, we see him at some point pouring out all of the bottles of liquor that he has. He's starting to come to terms with the fact that he betrayed his real love, honestly. I think he says out of all of them, Babe was his favorite, okay? And so we see that going on. Of course, now we also see that Babe has cancer, and so she's going through her treatments. And so I think the compounding of the betrayal in addition to her diagnosis is kind of like, was like the nail in the coffin. She's like, this was too much. Yeah, he talked about Bill, but in turn he talked about me. This is the ultimate betrayal. I shared everything with him. You know what I mean? And so we're going through that. We're introduced to the rest of the Swans this episode. Lisa Flockhart, yeah, Ally McBeal, y'all. That's who she'll always be to me. Plays Jackie Kennedy's little sister, Lee Radziwill. Lee Radziwill. Y'all put it in the comments because somebody will correct me if I'm mispronouncing her name. We also meet Pretty in Pink, Joanne Carson. Okay, Molly Ringwald plays Joanne Carson. We meet those two Swans, and I think that was the end of the Swans, okay, that we've met. We go to Anne's funeral as well, and so her son gets up there, honey, and he's like, look, Truman did it. It's his fault. That was a passionate eulogy, okay? And like I said, Slim is out for revenge. She's like, you're not going to do Babe like that. Now, all of us, whatever. But Babe, she's off limits, especially with what she's going through. And we kind of get to see some intimate moments also between Slim and Babe as she's going through. There's a moment where they're on the bed and Babe is sharing all of the jewelry that Bill had gotten her during his moments of infidelity throughout their marriage. And I mean, it's jewelry on jewelry on jewelry, trying to give stuff away, because I think at this point, Babe is faced with her own mortality. And honestly, even in this, and I guess people are different, right? Because I would think, and what you expect from most people who are faced with this type of situation is that they want to make amends. They want to offer forgiveness. Babe is the opposite, honey. Because Truman done sent flowers. Truman done sent gifts. Truman done tried to get with other people to try to help get back to Babe. And Babe is just not having it. Truman's ex, honey, Jack done came through. Anyway, but we'll get into that a little bit deeper. So Truman is at his wit's end because, of course, his favorite Swan, none of the Swans will talk to him, but CZ gives him a chance, okay? And we know CZ is played by Chloe. And so he's like, can you help? Can you help me? Are you going to help me? And so CZ still kind of has an open heart to him for whatever reason. And I don't know why that is. Maybe she feels sorry for him, or I don't know if it's the compassion of it all, or the fact that he didn't really expose anything on her this go round. But she really has an open heart to him. And so He's like, can you help me? She's like, yeah, I'll invite you to my Thanksgiving. Because apparently her Thanksgivings are legendary and all the Swans will be there. And so he's like, oh, thank you so much, CZ. Now Slim finds out and Slim's not having it. So Slim is like, CZ, uninvite him. He betrayed Babe. We're not going for it. And so CZ reluctantly eventually calls him to cancel, honey. Bill is finally acting right now that she's on her deathbed, basically. But she's renewed in that. You know what I mean? Even after the appeal, please talk to him the first time. She's still like, no, I don't want to talk to Truman. I'm working things out with my husband. He's going to be my best friend now. He's doing everything he needs to do. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving because the last Thanksgiving has come. CZ canceled the day of Thanksgiving, so he immediately had to find somewhere else to go. And he called good old sis Joanne Carson because the door's always open, okay? And so they're going to fly to California and go. And so he wants to bring John. Now, we know John had a wife and kids, okay? And so I guess he wanted to spend his Thanksgiving with his babies. And Truman, but he had promised Truman that he was going to spend the time with him. I didn't know their relationship was volatile, honey. But when I tell you John snapped, crackled, popped, bopped Truman as much as he could. So first he does it in private because Truman does talk slick. He talks slick. But my thing is, John, do you just hate who you are in that you're indulging in this relationship, in the time? Is it because you hate yourself or do you really hate Truman? I don't know. They fly to California, but John's still mad. He wants to be with his kids. So he reluctantly comes to Joanne Carson's house for dinner. They're sitting there, honey, and something sets him off. And why did he beat the brakes off of Truman in front of everybody? In front of everybody. Then when they get home, beat him so bad he put him in the hospital. And so Jack, Truman's ex, is like, babe, he's going to die. Basically, John is going to kill him. So I need you to help make this right with him. Like, be his friend again. And Baby's like, no, sorry, Jack. And I hope you find a good way in life. But I honestly, like I said, I do think that part of it is that maybe desire for retribution for his mom being snubbed. But ultimately, I think it's Truman's desire to truly be accepted and to be one of those women, to have the lives of one of those women, I think is what it is. I think it's some deep-rooted, not fully accepting of who he is and learning to love himself within his own identity. But wanting and craving that of others. But you guys drop your thoughts below. Those are my thoughts on episode 2. I can't wait until episode 3. I will be back, honey, with bells on. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next video.